And I learned this a long time ago, and it's really helpful. It's like we were standing on faith in so many ways. I don't like to share our dreams and goals and visions with people who I think can't operate at a level of faith that would match ours.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. Podcast episode number 16.
Wow.
Here we are.
16.
They got us again today, honey.
Yeah. So I thought we'd take a little time. We've been explaining our journey coming over here to Boise, Idaho, but maybe get a little more practical this time. There's a few things that just envision now, we have this mad scramble of, okay, the lake house is actually sold. We have to get everything packed. And it's a lot with 8 people, right? We have to organize movers. We have to try to coordinate closing dates. We have to get stuff sent over. And we're talking about January. And all in the meantime, we're still running our businesses. We had a big event that we were planning that takes a lot of time, was coming up.
Kids are still all homeschooling.
There was holidays.
Sports.
We have coaching clients. We had a lot. And how do you manage all of that? Well, there's a few principles that we always build into our family that we've learned that are really powerful. And, one of those principles is that we just fully believe that nothing's really ours. It's all God's anyways, right? Mm-hmm. And because of that, it makes you treat things differently, like whether it's our lake house. The reality is the lake house was never fully ours. It was always God's. God let us use it for a season. And then the second principle would be, however you leave one place is how you're going to enter the next. So we were going to leave as class acts. We were going to, leave this house in great order, probably better than they even expected. We were going to make sure we help the new owners transition best we can. We weren't going to be just leave the place like a dump and just get out of there because the papers are signed kind of people, So we built this into our kids. And then because of that, we all had an attitude of, okay, yep, we're a little bit sad we're leaving this because we're leaving a chapter of our life. But at the same time, we're going to make sure that this is an absolute blessing for the people coming on. And they're going to enter into a beautiful season of their life. And so it gave us a little piece, but we had to kind of take that perspective. And then we started getting organized about how we're going to do this. So the first step would be, you and I are like, okay, let's calendar plan. Let's talk about what needs to get done by when, who can help with what do you need to do for work stuff? What do I need to do for work stuff? What do we got the kids to do work stuff? And then what time can we take outside of that? We got to have some team meetings and build into the kids that, listen, we're on a time crunch here. So let's all work together because many hands makes light work. And let's have great attitudes. We'll get time to play, but right now we got to work first and then play later. And, just getting everybody in that mindset. You and I got an agreement that we're not going to really talk too much about the sadness of where we're leaving. We're going to keep the conversations focused on the excitement of where we're going. And these were just they might sound simple, but these things had to keep being reinforced over and over throughout this because, a day goes by and we're in the middle of all this packing. Everybody's tired, right?
Well, yeah, I think, again, a lot of it had to do with prep talks the night before. That's one thing we got good about is making sure that Greg and I talked about our calendar, what needed to be done earlier in the day so that we could prep the kids the night before. Yeah. Because we didn't really just want to bark orders all day. We wanted to really have a plan that everyone knew what to do so that we could be effective. Yeah. So that we could prep them the day before. Hey, just want to let you know, yesterday went well because of this, this, and this. Here's something we could all improve in though. Can we all do better on this, this, and this tomorrow? Hey guys, really appreciate how you all took the lead on this. let's finish up early so we can go do this fun thing afterwards. We had to talk to what their needs were too. Yes, we needed a whole house packed up and ready to go, but on the flip side, they're still kids and wanted to have fun in there. So we just had to navigate that and make sure that everybody was feeling okay with it.
Yeah. And so even though you and I are stressing out, we had to really and I can't say it enough. I think parents got to really take very seriously being in agreement, being in alignment, like getting themselves to agree and back each other. And then off of that unified front, then you create a plan with the kids.
Right. That's why we always game planned before we tried to talk to them about it.
But you have to make that effort instead of just
100%.
assuming, how many times do we watch parents or just people in relationship in general just be like, oh, I made this decision over here. And the other person's like, but why would you do that? You didn't even consider this. And then they get at each other and it's like, well, I'm doing my best and I'm trying this. It's like, okay, but can you just agree like we've had to, because we've done it wrong plenty of times.
We still do.
But can you just agree, let's take that extra 15 minutes and have our own little team meeting, know? And maybe that doesn't sound super romantic or something, but let's just face it. We got a lot of moving parts and we're trying to navigate a lot of things and we want to be intelligent about it. And so, you and I feel like we did a good job of that, where we took the time and was like, okay, I'm overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed. Hold my hand for a minute. Let's remind ourselves where we're going, what we're doing, why we're doing it. Okay.
And I think one thing we did well is we didn't have to tell everybody and their cousins about it all the time.
Well, that was another life lesson I had written down here, was that during this whole process for these months of even selling the house and finding a new house, we didn't tell very many people at all.
No, it was our journey to go through.
But there's a reason why. And I learned this a long time ago and it's really helpful. It's like, we were standing on faith in so many ways. I don't like to share our dreams and goals and visions with people who I think can't operate at a level of faith that would match ours, because I don't want them to inject a lack of faith. I don't want them to inject disbelief into our life. I don't want them talking negatively behind closed doors about a journey that we need positivity into. And some people think that that's right and that's not right. Some people think we're being secretive. It's not really true, because all the people we trusted were 100% engaged in our journey. You know what I mean? All the people that operate at that level of faith, we're couldn't wait to talk to them about every step. It's just other people who can sit on the sidelines and kind of judge where you're at or where you're going or what you're doing. And it's really easy to do that when you're not going anywhere. Right?
That's true. That's true.
So you're right. So we didn't really tell a lot of people. Eventually we told people that we kind of needed to tell, and everybody received it really well. But we were already done. We already sold the house. We were already moving. I don't even know if we really told a lot of people until we were traveling to Boise with all of our stuff moved in here. And we felt okay about that because, we were protecting where we're going in a mission that we feel God put on our hearts, and it mattered to us.
Well, and we were protecting our kids. Sometimes people feel like they deserve to hear everything going on in everybody's life.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should ever lie about what's going on in their life. That's not a healthy way of living.
Yeah.
But, our children were dealing with a lot of different emotional things at this time, as we were too, by the way. So our first goal was to take care of our home front. I had a lot of things I was working through with the kids. I didn't need multiple people asking them questions or questioning them or bringing it up, because here's the truth of the matter is sometimes people don't really know what they're saying affects people so heavily.
Yeah.
And our children could be affected by other people almost questioning why they're asking these questions. And so I really felt like it was important for us to kind of get our family strong with the mission that we had. And then after that, we can come and talk to other people about it. And number two, it was our story. You're allowed to share your story when you're ready to share your story.
Right.
And we weren't ready yet. We were enjoying the story that God had put in our life. We wanted to enjoy it so that then we could get to a place that we could tell everybody else about the work he's doing.
Yeah.
But if we're just kind of running around and just, spilling out everything without really any good discernment, then you don't see the miracles that are happening around you.
Sure. And, every one of us, whether we admit it or not, we're pretty affected by what other people think.
Yeah.
And even people you don't even know.
That's true.
That's why we weren't posting stuff on Facebook. We weren't pushing this journey out there, because then you get asked questions, then it gets in these conversations, and then next thing you know, man, it's going on a journey of disbelief, and then it rattles in your mind and it gets stuck in there, and you can't really unthink something. You have to dilute it with more of the right stuff. And so it was a lot of just protection. I know for me personally, it was a lot of just personal protection because I'm going through this emotional ups and downs the whole time, trying to be strong and trying to get stuff done despite emotion, trying to be that, you and I together be that unified front of strength for our children when they're feeling weak. And I didn't need any extra discouragement,
Right.
and it can happen. It can show up. And we have goals and dreams right now that we want to accomplish. And we're not really vocal about them to many people other than people we can really trust that, we know are going to support and equip us and honestly kind of push us forward to it, but never almost like give us an out of why it shouldn't happen. And so that was really big. And so anyways, like how you leave one place is how you enter another is a big one. I mean, I don't know if you remember that day I took the kids and we had finally got all our stuff out and the new owners were going to be moving in, and I took like hours and I did all these little videos of here's little things that it would take you probably 5 years to figure out about this house that took me that long. But this little special thing over here, or the way that this works over here, or here's how you can adjust this to this season to make it right, or this is where the dog fence wire is, and then just also communicating with the new owners, like personally, instead of just working through a realtor, like, hey, any questions you have, and I set them up through, a voice messaging system. I just got another message yesterday from them asking some questions about some stuff. I get about one a week. I don't know if you even knew that, but, and I'm always just like, yeah, this is how this works. And they're super thankful about it. And they're super appreciative. And it feels right. I feel like we're setting them up for success there. And it feels right, which then, because you left one area properly, it's like now you expect to be blessed in the new area. And it doesn't surprise me when the neighbors keep walking over with new like food or gifts or, new little tips and tricks of the trade around here. And, because it's like you're reaping what you're sowing. And,
so true.
that's biblical. And so, yeah, it was a good way to do it, but a lot of good life lessons in it.
Yeah. And I think too, a couple things we learned too is to make sure that, when we are going through everything, that it's just a season. The stresses at some point will go away.
That's right.
The things that you're super concerned about today, like they won't matter in 6 months.
That's right.
It's like really remembering the little things are the little things.
Yeah.
Now in the moment they need to get done and you need to be respectful of that, but they are the little things.
Yeah.
To remember that the big picture is that we're going on this mission that we were called on.
And just thinking, keep reminding ourselves like, gosh, I heard a song. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it says that walking in or operating in faith is like wearing a blindfold and running. And I'm like, boy, has this journey felt like that a little bit. I mean, here, without all the details, just imagine moving all the stuff out of our lake house. That was such a big work thing that we had to do. And then having it travel across the country to a new house, and then having people here doing projects while we're gone with just trust and hoping it works out. And, and then us, to start on the path of our journey. We left Florida and, we leave at 3 a.m. and drive for 13 hours the first day to somewheresville in Kentucky where we got a VRBO, which, by the way, is not an easy thing to do, to find one that's decent, that matches the pictures. And we've just kind of gotten more skilled about it. A couple tips for parents out there. If you have to get VRBOs or something, always read the reviews. I've learned that, and I always look for, is the neighborhood safe? Does multiple people say that? Is it quiet? Those kind of things. Because we've ended up in some dumps and we're like, oh, okay, we're going to get like a 4-hour nap and we're on the road.
Well, that goes a lot for, it's not really just us, because we could find something for us. If we didn't have these show ponies that we have to take around
Yeah,
with.
for those of you that don't know that don't have big dogs,
mean,
they don't let you fly. All my friends give me a hard time. Like, do you know there's these things invented called airplanes? I'm like, shut up.
So let's go back.
Airplanes won't let you travel with dogs over 100 pounds, and we have 2 of them.
Right. So when we say we're kind of looking for a VRBO, it's not just like, a luxury event. Let's go find the coolest one for its Greg,
It's got to
Jackie, and the
fit
kids.
8 people plus 3 dogs.
Yeah, and they have to take dogs that we can't exactly hide in our purse. Like,
Can't hide them, period. But
no. So that's where we are.
But we left from Florida. 13.
Well, because after we sold our house, we didn't come to Boise right away.
That's
we
right.
went to Florida for our winter.
House was bought, papers
Right.
signed. We had people here working for the next whatever number of months. We spent the winter in Florida.
Right.
And then we packed up here just a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, probably, whatever it was. And Leave at 3 a.m, drive 13 hours the first day. Again, this is a lot of prep work with the kids. Like, hey, let's have the best attitude that we possibly can. And just realized me in the car for a while. We kind of figured out, we tried traveling, like leaving at 9 p.m. and driving through the night. That didn't work that great because we're just too gassed by 6 a.m. We've tried leaving during the day, which was a little bit better, but then even then it's a little bit harder for the kids to relax. So we figured out, like, if you're going 12 hours somewhere,
For us, it works best to
leave at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
That's what works
Get
for us.
up. I get the first like 3-4 hours just drive with nobody making any noise in the car, right? Everybody's pretty much sleeping, even the dogs. And then everybody kind of has a slow morning anyways. And by the time that, we get to the last 4 hours of the trip, we're, we've covered so much ground. And so it just works really well for us. But anyways, we drove up to Kentucky 13 hours. Then we drove the rest of the way, which is like another 8. We got to Wisconsin, spent a couple days there. I had to do an event. I do a thing called Man Maker, which is a fun thing we do a couple times a year to train guys how to become really great godly men. And then made a trip.
We stayed with my mom and dad for a week.
Yep, we moved back in with our parents again.
Yeah. Hey, there was good food and clean clothes.
Hey,
you know
amen
what
to
I
that.
mean?
It was not a burden on us. It was on them.
Okay, Nanner made Thanksgiving for us.
She did.
They're
so great. No,
I mean, that was pretty amazing.
They're the best.
They are the best.
Yeah, taking over their house with all of us. It's just,
Again, can we just remember, it's my parents' home, and here comes 8 people and 3 dogs in the 3 bedrooms.
They're saints for real.
They are such good sports.
Then we drove over to Michigan. I had to do a meeting over there, plus visit my parents. That was a round trip, about 14 hours in the van with everybody again. And then from there, we spent a couple more days in Wisconsin, and then took off for Mount Rushmore. And that was like a 13-hour drive. Spent a day there, which was really fun with the family. Then we drove across the plains like 10 hours, I think, the next day. And I didn't realize how long Wyoming is. Remember when we were driving?
Yeah.
It's like you got to get gas at a gas station because you're going to go for, maybe 2 hours before you see another thing. Like, and even no cell service. And you're just out there. It's beautiful, but it's kind of like, wow,
Yeah,
Thank goodness we have newer vehicles. We don't have to worry about,
I can't imagine if you broke down. Can you imagine?
No,
there's no cell phone service. I mean, do people just...
Yeah, I don't really even know how they do it, but new to us. And then we stayed just outside of Salt Lake City. And the last day we got up and went, and we left a little bit earlier than we probably should have. It was still dark, and the mountains were crazy aggressive, and that was unique because we're hauling a 2,000-pound U-Haul trailer behind us too with all of our stuff. And but it was our adventure. By the way, when we first left, it was
when we first left my parents' house.
First left Wisconsin to take on this last leg of this, which was going to be another, like 26 hours total or something like that. We're leaving bright and early in the morning, and of course we're trying to get the dogs to get going, and the dog collar was stuck in Indigo's collar, so you're literally cutting her neck with
not cutting her neck.
Well, she's a really hairy dog, so she knotted up, cutting the hair off her neck to get this collar off her. So we're getting delayed trying to do this. This is annoying. Then the dogs, they get kind of freaky because they think we're going to leave them, and they jump in. I for some reason left my driver's side door open, and so they jump in my driver's side door. They both do, and these are, again, ponies, right? They get in there. I'm trying to yank them out of there. They jump up through from the bottom up, and they're strong dogs. Break my key off in the ignition. Like, the car's running. We haven't left yet. This is how the morning started.
Greg's now literally rubbing his forehead, and he is maxed at this point because we've done everything we possibly could to really have a smooth trip. It's stuck in the ignition. The key fob is on the ground. Greg's literally about to leave the dogs. He's done. He was done. And then our
National Lampoons, tie him up to the back bumper and just...
And so, anywho, and moral story is, I'm like, can we just get a tool? Can somebody? And I'm like, he's like, don't touch it, because if it gets stuck anymore, it's not gonna work. Thank you, Jesus. I had my keys on me, and we were able to use one of Dad's tools to carefully take it out. That was the beginning at 5:30 in the morning.
Still gotta get that fixed, but
yeah, but. After that, we just kept going. We could tell you stories upon stories. Maybe they'll come out as we discuss things.
I literally downloaded the audiobook Lewis and Clark because of their Out West adventure, and listening to it. It put Jackie to sleep in 10 minutes every time. And the kids were into it. But I'm just like, I kept listening to what those guys had to go through. I'm like, all right, this ain't that bad. If they can do it,
we can do it. You know, the kids were such troopers, just to give them kudos. My gosh, our sweet little Hunter, she's 4. She was in the car for so many days. She loves the color.
Remember 10 or whatever it was, like 10 days total. And we were in the vehicle with our dogs and kids 64 hours.
And Hunter, like, she's so easygoing. She's just excited to be on the journey with us. But she colors all the time in the car. Like, give her a coloring book, give her crayons. She's good to go. She had hand cramps from coloring so much on this trip because she would just peacefully sit there and do her thing. All the kids worked so hard together in the car. I mean, like, honestly.
And then when we got here, it was exciting, but then we knew we had all of our stuff to unpack. So the real work began when we got here. But I'll tell you what, we all worked together. We all had the best attitudes we could. Things are starting to settle down now. We've gone to our first 2 church services out here, which were fantastic. Had a great event over at Count Melissa's house yesterday. And you know you're being stretched
when, like, we were doing so well, and then we actually get here. It's funny how God works. You know, we're coming out of our comfort zones, right, babe? Like, majorly. Like, Greg and I are just being exposed to a whole new way of being stretched. And we haven't been this way in how many years now? And you know, it's like life is getting good when we have had 2 good arguments already since we've been here because we're just being stretched. You know what I mean? Like, just us tense, you know, taking stuff out on each other, or whatever you want to say. Because for the first time in a long time, you know, we're in an environment that's going to grow us. And it's stretching you and me in a big way.
So to wrap this one up, to our children who are listening to this in their 20s one day down the road, and we are established in multiple dream homes out here in Boise. We found our ranch. It's part of our dream. Kingdom Ranch is in full effect. We have all of our new buildings being put up. We got all of our new ways that we're using the property to serve others, and and things are really advancing, and we're really getting rooted here. Hopefully you can listen back to this and realize there was a start to this journey. And it started with just a move of faith. And we're so excited about where things are going.
Let's do it, right?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Glad to be doing with you.
I love you too.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.